Hello students and welcome to the next part. Today we are revising structures. Now as everybody knows, structure is a heterogeneous elements collection. How do you differentiate structures from arrays? We know that an array is also a collection. Array is a collection of homogeneous element, that too in sequential memory location. That means let us say n elements are present in array, then all n elements are located one after the other sequentially in memory. Likewise, if we define structure, structure is also a collection, but structure is a collection of different data type element. That means in structure you can have a integer variable as well as floating point variable as well as a string as well as a pointer as well as a different array also. So all these things comes under heterogeneous collection. A structure is a collection of all these things, and this is a half definition of it. The complete this next half of definition says that it is a collection with sequential memory locations. That means if you have one integer, one floating point and one array present in your structure, then your integer, floating point number and your array are placed one after the other in a continuous memory location slots. Now let us just extend this definition and try to learn the structure as we learn various different constructs in C. Just like in array, we have learned how to declare it, how to initialize it and how to use it. In structures also we are going to see how exactly structure works, what exactly structure looks like, how memory allocation is done, and then we will be seeing how to declare a structure, how to instantiate a structure and how to access a structure. Now mind well, I am considering that you already know a structure and I am just revising the things, correct? Okay, so without wasting much of the time, let us go and let us understand structures. Now let us just assume this is a code. In this code, first few lines, struct student, these lines, let me just highlight these things with this marker. Struct student, the very first line. The very first line is a declaration of a structure. Struct is a keyword which is used for declaration of structure. Then follows the name of a structure. Mind well, this name is optional entity, and if you want you can skip this thing. Then we open a curly bracket and declare the members of a structure. Mind well, the whatever elements present between the scope of curly brackets, those are called as members of structure. How many members are there? There are 3 members in this case. One member is named as roll, another is named as p, and next is a string by the name name. It is an array of size 10 of type character. Similarly, roll is a type having type integer, p is having type float. That simply means we all will be accessing these 3 heterogeneous elements sequentially. The collection of these things is known as a structure. Another important thing is we normally put a termination symbol, that is a semicolon, after structure's declaration. Now there is a glitch. Whenever we declare a variable, a memory is attached to it, memory is given to it, allotted to it. Whenever we declare a pointer, a memory is allotted to it, correct? Whenever we declare an array, a memory is allotted to it. Whatever the size of array is, the memory is allotted to it. But that is not the case with structure. In structure, the memory is allotted to instance and not to a structure. That simply means what? We need to create instance of this structure. And how do we create instance? A structure is a collection, correct? A structure is a collection enclosed within these 2 curly braces. That means these 3 things can be used as a collection. Now when you declare structure members, these structure members, that is roll, p and name, they cannot be accessed directly. You cannot write roll number or roll is equal to 25. You cannot write float p or p is equal to 73.23. You cannot do that. Why? Because they are now members of a structure, and members of structures are not accessible outside this structure directly. Now to access these things outside the structure, what do you need to do? You need to create structure instances. There are various ways to create structure instances. You can directly write S1, S2, S3 before this semicolon also. so that S1, S2, S3 will be the instances of structure by the name student. So memory will be allotted to S1, memory will be allotted to S2, and memory will be allotted to S3. How much memory is allotted? The memory which is used by one integer, one float, and one string, that is allotted to S1 or S2 or S3, whatever it is. Let us just go and see how memory is allotted to it. When I create a structure and instantiate S1, what happens? A variable role gets a memory. Let us assume the address of role is 100. Another variable called P gets a memory double than that of integer. That is, if integer is of 2 byte, P will get memory of 4 bytes. If integer is of 4 bytes, 64-bit architecture, then P will get memory of 4 into 2, 8 bytes. Correct? So the starting address of P will be from 102. That means 100 and 101, these 2 bytes will be taken by an integer. 102, two next 4, 102, 103, 104 and 105 will be taken by P, that is floating point number. Then you will be having a memory bar of name. It is a character array, that means half the memory of integer. Correct? 2 bytes in case of 64, 1 byte in case of normal 32-bit architecture. So from 106 to 115 you will be having a complete array of characters by the name. So this is how memory is to be assigned, but frankly speaking, the memory is assigned not to individual elements. The memory is assigned to complete structure. Correct? The memory is assigned to structure instance S1 or S2, whatever you create, and the starting address of this S1 or S2 is the starting address of very first variable, that is 100, that is roles address. Correct? So this is how memory is allotted in structures. Now there are various ways to instantiate structures. One of the very famous ways is the line number this, struct student S1. What are we doing? We are creating an instance by the name S1 of structure student, and we are initializing it. How do we initialize it? Equal to, within curly brackets we write 15 comma 85.73 comma Abhiram. What is 15? 15 is the value, constant value provided to the very first integer present in the structure. 85.73 is the value provided to the second instance present in structure, and this string is provided as an argument to third variable or third member present in structure. Correct? So role, P and name, these three members will get value as 15, 85.73 and Abhiram. Correct? So what will role contain? Role will contain 15. What will this contain? This will contain 85.73, and what will this contain? This will contain a name Abhiram. Correct? So likewise a structure gets his memory and structure is initialized. Apart from that, a structure instance can be created by this method also. We can simply write struct student S2. What does this mean? We can create another instance of student by the name S2. In previous case, S1 is created and instantiated with the value. In this case, only instance is created, it is not yet initialized or instantiated. Correct? We can create an array of structures also. How do you create array of structures? You simply write struct student ARR of size 5. What does that mean? ARR of size 5, that simply means it will be containing 5 instances of structure. One structure instance contains memory from 100 to 115. Correct? So how many bytes? 2 plus 4, that is 6 plus 10. 6 plus 10, 16. So 16 bytes will be 16 bytes are allotted to one structure instance. So ARR of 5 will be allotting how many bytes? 16 multiplied by 5. That much size of array is created and it is allotted to ARR. What does ARR looks like? ARR looks like 5 structures placed one side the other. Correct? Another thing which is most important, which we want to revise and which we will be using most of the time, is pointer to a structure. As we all know, what is a pointer? Pointer is simply a container which contains address of another variable. So what will be a structure pointer? A structure pointer is a container which holds address of structure, as simple as that. So struct student star s, you know how to declare a pointer. You declare a pointer with asterisk, correct? So struct student star s means you are declaring a structure pointer by the name s which will be having address of student structure, correct? Now you want to access these values. Now this is how a structure is declared, this is how a structure is initialized, correct? Now let us try to initialize structure in various different ways. Let us try to access each and every individual element in a structure. How do we do that? It is very simple. What if I write S2 is equal to S1? S2 is equal to S1 means structure 2 will get all the values of structure 1. So if structure 1 contains 15, then 85.73 and Abhiram, S2 will also contain 15, 85.73 and same string, correct? What if I want to write something like S2 dot roll equal to 22? What will happen? S2 dot roll equal to 22 means you will be overwriting value of S2 from 15 to 22. The value of S2's roll, which was previously 15, now you are changing that S2's roll value to 22. In same way, S2 dot P equal to 69.77. What will this statement do? Previously, S2's P was containing 85.73. Now you are overriding that value by 69.77. Likewise, you can change the complete name to from Abhiram to Spruha, correct? So this is how a structure can be instantiated. Now let us see another way through which we will be instantiating a structure. We know that we have created a structure pointer over here, correct? What does pointer contain? Pointer simply contains an address of something. In our case, structure pointer will contain address of structure. So how do we give address of structure to s? We simply write s equal to address of s1. What is address of s1? 100. So we will be passing 100 to s, and by using s we can also access role, p and name. Now there are two ways to access. One is static way and another is dynamic way. Static way we have already seen by using a dot operator. How do you access individual elements or individual structure members by using structure instance? We simply write structure instance dot structure member, correct? So by using a dot operator we can access the individual values, correct? Now what if this is my pointer instance? In this case we can access these values by using a pointer instance and a new operator. That operator is called as arrow operator. Now without wasting much of the time, let us just convert this theory to a program and let us try to see how things work out.